Hi, this is Dr. Mahoney, and I'm going to show you how to do conditional formatting, Sumif, Countif, and sorting in Excel. Let's start off by doing conditional formatting. I'm going to go ahead and click on my SCO1 tab, and you will notice on this tab I have some information by various states. And with conditional formatting, what can happen is I can have a cell automatically change the color based upon the contents of what's in that cell. For example, let's click on column D. So I'm going to left-hand click on the D, and I'm going to highlight the entire cell. And so I'm going to click on conditional formatting. And here I have some choices. I have highlight, top-bottom rules, data bars, etc. We're going to work on the highlight the cell. So to keep it simple, I'm going to say highlight the cells that are greater than. In my case, I can put in any number. So let's just say highlight any cell greater than 1,000,000. So you'll notice here, any cell greater than 1,000,000 is automatically changing colors. Well, on the right-hand side drop-down box, I can have it have different colors. I can do yellow. I could do green. I could have it do writing a certain way. But notice here I also have a custom. So in the custom format, you can do anything you want. I could have it do a pattern. I could have it choose any color. I could choose the font. I could change the border if I wanted to. So the option's up to you what you want it to change when it meets this criteria. So we're going to say OK. And you will notice here that that's the format that I've chosen. And only the cells greater than 1,000,000 are highlighted. Now, if for some reason this cell would go below 1,000,000, that highlighting would go away. So I wanted to show you how to do that. So I'm going to go ahead and undo what I just did by pushing the undo button. But that's quickly how conditional formatting does work. Let's do one more. Let's click on column E. Again, under the Home tab, we're going to click on conditional formatting. Let's do the top-bottom rule. So this one would allow you to highlight the top 10, above average, below average. Let's just say, let's highlight the top 10 items, and automatically it's going to tell us in that column what the top 10 is. So that's a little bit about how to do conditional formatting. Again, there's lots of options that are built in for you to use. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do is the Countif and the Sumif. So let's move to column F to the bottom. So if you're familiar with a count function, what it does is it counts the number of numbers. Okay, so in my case, if I do a simple count, it's going to say I have 51 numbers, which does correspond with how many cells I have. But sometimes we don't want to count everything, and we only want to count some of it. So if you just want to count some of it, we're going to do a Countif. Okay, and so the Countif says what is the column you want to count. So I'm going to say let's count this column, comma, and then what's the criteria? Well, we're going to put it in quotes, and I want it to count it if it's less than or equal to 300,000. So in this case, it's only going to count the cells that are less than or equal to 300,000. And I push enter, and notice we only have 30 of those. Now, similar to the Countif, we can also do the Sumif. So I'm going to move over to cell G, 55, and a typical sum is just equals sum, and we highlight the area that we want to sum. So that's if I want to sum everything. Okay. But again, maybe I only want to sum some of the things, so I'm going to do Sumif, comma. Again, put the range in there and what the criteria is. So here's my range. And again, what's the criteria? We're going to put it in quotes. We're going to sum it if it's greater than 1,000,000, comma, and we're going to close it. So if I just sum things greater than 1,000,000, that's what I would get. Oops, let's make that wider. 13 million, which I would expect that to be lower than summing all of it. The last thing I want to show you with the Sumif, and can also be used for a Countif, is I can say go look at this column over here and sum everything that's in group 2. So to do that, I'm going to do equals Sumif, comma. I'm going to go over here, look at this group, comma, If it's in group 2, comma, I want it to sum this column. And close it off. So what I got there, I'm going to go ahead and put my comma in there so we can read it, is I have 13,130. That is in group 2. So basically, again, I say sum if. Here's where the groups are. If it's in group 2, sum the column G3 to G53. So that's how you do a sum if referring to another column. The last thing we want to do is to make sure we know how to do sort, and in particular how we want to do a custom sort. So you will notice here that I have information on states, and each row of data goes along with that state. So if I would just sort on total without taking the state with it, my information would no longer align. For example, I can click on C and just say sort, smallest to largest, and I'm going to say don't continue, and sort, and what happens is it's sorted this column, and now my information at Alabama doesn't make any sense. So I'm going to do an undo. So you have to be careful when you have rows of data that go along with each other, or columns of data that have similar information in rows, that we need to sort the entire spreadsheet. So what I'm going to do is click anywhere within my spreadsheet, and I'm going to do sort, custom sort. Now, Excel tries to figure out what is it that you want to sort. And so what it does is it gathers the data where there's an empty row or an empty column. So it automatically can figure that out for us. So we're going to go ahead and let's just say I want to sort by group, and group is in B. But then within the group, I want to sort by state. So I'm going to add a level and say, okay, let's sort also by the state, which is column A. So it's going to give me everything in group 1, and then based upon what's in group 1, it's going to sort by the state from A to Z. Okay, so let's say okay and see what happened here. So again, here we have all the ones, but notice within ones it's in alphabetical order because that's when the second sort kicked in. Then we have 2s, so all the 2s are in alphabetical order. And then finally we have 3s, and all the 3s are alphabetical order. So again, in that sort, notice that sort B was a priority sort, and sort A, or the next one, then by only kicked in for the ties within the first sort. Again, you can have unlimited levels that you could do it in, but the first sort, the top sort, takes precedence, and then when there's a tie in the top sort, the second sort kicks in. Okay. So anyways, that's a little bit about how to do conditional formatting, sum if, count if, and sorting. Good luck on your homework assignment, and hopefully you get an A on it.